Though the African continent might not be able to stand up to the big boys like China, America and Russia, the continent has helped a lot in keeping world peace over the years.
Afro.
Afro presents the top 10 most powerful militaries in Africa today. Number 10. Libya. There hasn't been much peace and stability after the demise of one of Africa's great leaders, Muammar Gaddafi. The Libyan military has an impressive array of equipment which you obviously guess is from its oil dollars. The country is currently divided between a government in Tripoli and a rogue general, General Haftar. The government in Tripoli is battling to keep the forces out of the city as it lacks a fully integrated force. Regardless, the country still has available about 2,500 armored fighting vehicles, 500 tanks, 600 towed artillery pieces, and 6,500 logistical vehicles. Number 9. DRC. The DRC is home to Africa's second largest population at about 86 million people. A member of the Blue Helmets, the United Nations Stabilization Mission, still has a presence in the country as the country's own forces are not fully ready to handle the peace operations. The security reform of the country began in 2003 after a period of civil war and is still grappling with effort armed non-state actors into national security institutions. There is an active force of 134,000 personnel. Though this is a sizable force, it is still lagging behind in training as compared to other forces. Number 8. Sudan. Probably the most controversial entry on the list, the military has an active force of 104,000 personnel, 191 aircrafts, 403 armored fighting vehicles, and a total of 18 naval assets. Most of this equipment is supplied from Russia and China as the country is under sanctions from Western countries. Number 7. Morocco. In 2019, King Mohammed VI made a call for the government to recruit about 10,000 Moroccans into compulsory military service, and this is set to increase to about 15,000 in the coming years. The Royal Army has an active force of 196,000 personnel. Also at its disposal, it's about 291 aircraft, 2,720 armored vehicles, 1,109 tanks, and a navy with a fleet of 121 assets. Number 6. Angola. The Angola Armed Forces (FFA) has three components: the Army, the Navy, and the Air Force. In 2019, President Lourenço laid off 88 generals of the army. This comes a year after the Chief of Staff lost his job when he was named by the Attorney General in a corruption probe. The FFA currently has an active force of up to 100,000 troops, backed up by 585 armored fighting vehicles, 300 tanks, 285 pieces of aircraft, and has a navy of 57 aircraft carriers. Number 5. Ethiopia. Ethiopia is the only country without a maritime border on this list. Ethiopia has focused its resources on developing its army and air force to an impressive degree. Ethiopia has for years experienced internal conflict. The need for a strong military has also been a necessity considering the threat of terrorist group Al-Shabaab. Ethiopia currently has an active force of 140,000 troops, with nearly 2 million people reaching military age annually. Number 4. Nigeria. Nigeria's army has been locked in a battle with Boko Haram insurgency for the better half of the decade. Despite significant gains made in Buhari's first term, there have been a few setbacks in the past year as the army is more trained for conventional warfare than the guerrilla tactics used by Boko Haram. Nigeria has more than 1,800 armored vehicles, 250 tanks, and 6,000 logistical vehicles at its disposal. Number 3. South Africa. South Africa uses its highly advanced military for peacekeeping and international cooperation. The lack of conflict has not prevented the country from having a whopping $4.6 billion as a defense budget. Its aircraft and naval vessels are notoriously well equipped with the latest technology, and though the country has less than 100,000 active frontline personnel, it has the capabilities and manpower for much more. Add to that a vast array of land system technology. You don't simply mess with the South African army. Number 2. Algeria. Just like its North African counterpart, Algeria has managed to use its large maritime border to its advantage. The country has managed to develop a massive military capability on land, in air as well as in the waters. Algeria's active frontline personnel is more than 130,000 troops and it has nearly 2,000 armored fighting vehicles at its disposal. Hey, if you're still watching this video, leave us a comment and a like. Thanks. Number 1. Egypt. Egypt puts itself over the top with regard to military power due to the sheer size of its armed forces. The North African power ranks an impressive 12th position in global rankings. The Egyptian armed forces consist of the Egyptian Army, Egyptian Navy, Egyptian Air Force, and Egyptian Air Defense Command. Nearly 500,000 personnel serve on its active frontline force, far surpassing all of its African counterparts. Egypt has nearly 10,000 armored fighting vehicles, 60,000 logistical vehicles, a whopping 1,092 aircrafts, and a large oil reserve to keep drawing money from every year. What greatly sets it apart is its naval strength, which includes traditional carriers as well as nuclear-powered submarines. Hope you enjoyed the list. If you did, please do share with an African friend on Facebook, WhatsApp and Twitter. Catch you in the next one. Peace.